Good morning.
There you go. Sorry, I have no voice today, so I apologize. I'm a little low on energy, but I can't yell. So thank you for whoever helped me out there. All right, happy Tuesday. I'm happy, energized, and excited. Yeah.
I just brought my friend. Yeah.
All right, let's start with some gratitude. I think we could all use some gratitude today and this week. And, who's got something, either chat North effects or gratitude that you can share? And a reminder, what's the chat North effect moment? For those of us that don't know, maybe, or remember. What's a chat North effect?
Represent our culture.
Something that represents our culture. Yeah, I love it. So who's got that? You could either shout out to another agent in a market center or just, you know, something like that. Yes, Mary Ann.
That goes to our alliance partners and for vendors who did a great job with happy hour last Thursday.
Oh, it's so fun.
That was so much fun.
Very good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, I agree.
Michael and Gray, O'Kelly and Sorahan, All Atlanta Inspections, and oh shoot.
Hi.
Sorry, and Anna.
Another one.
There's one other one.
See, Erin, we missed
I wasn't
you.
there, so you just thought, oh,
you.
hey,
Okay.
Mary Ann.
I'm sorry, darling.
You're
Just-
good.
No, they're just always.
It's a great.
They're always there
Yeah.
to answer our questions, provide information, and give us some other opportunities to network and have fun.
Yeah.
And great.
And it was a great turnout. It was a great turnout. For anybody that missed it, we'll have another one, I'm sure, but oh my gosh, I think I double dipped maybe a couple. Oh, good. Yeah, my husband came when I got home, he's like, did you want us to get you some food? We're picking up, and I go, no, I may have eaten a little. I'm good, I'm good. All right, who else? We gotta be grateful today.
How many have we got a buyer presentation since the last, last week? I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
Shared concept.
Nice. And he's not here, but yay, have it. I don't know. Might text him. Where are you? Yeah.
I got a 2 million plus listing on.
Yes, you did.
How much you pay to the buyer?
Okay.
It's still 3% too, so there you go, come bring us a buyer, or bring Bianca, I should say, about it.
Yeah. All right, who else?
Thankful for being business with Keller Williams.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
the only company that's up at the forefront of the NAR lawsuit.
Right,
Yeah.
that is so true. I love that.
On Vera. No matter when you call,
Where's the pink? I can find it.
no
Right
matter, no matter when you call,
No matter when you call or what you need, he will do it. I
Yeah.
told him yesterday that we have a limb through the roof at the lake house, and he's sending us people up to tarp it up, even though it's not raining, he's going to take care of it, so he's always on call.
there. Nice job, Ty.
I will say, I had a client that closed on the property, had like a leak, like a week later, I went out there like 2 days later, he had a full schedule. And got it patched and fixed and moved on, so just want to give him another shout out at the time.
Yeah, good job. Meeting, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, and very same thing. Yeah, you call, you have your clients call, he's on the ball, helps, keeps it straight, and he gets what we need done.
Fantastic. All right, anybody else? Anybody else? Don't want to leave anybody else from your gratitude. Okay, Meredith is here. Yes. Okay, back there.
Sorry.
No,
There
you're.
she Hi, everybody. So sorry I was running late this morning. There is breakfast now, by the way. I usually collect business cards to do a giveaway, so I'm gonna pass it around to do a giveaway since I wasn't here this morning. Thank you. Thank you. But for those of you that I haven't had the chance to meet, I'm Meredith Willis. I work with Residential Inspector of America. Hopefully you've heard of us, even worked with us. You have worked with us before. Nice, awesome. I love seeing it. I'm sure you're busy, you didn't have though. Happy spring, everybody. Today's the first day, even though it doesn't really feel like it. But anyway, we've been in business, RIA since 1989. We're based here in Atlanta. We have over 30 full-time home inspectors. We also have a Spanish-speaking inspector now, again, within the past year. So if you guys have any Spanish-speaking clients, you can specifically request that inspector. It's really nice, that way you don't have to be the go-between for your client, to communicate with the inspector, they can speak to them directly. We do something that kind of sets us apart from our other home inspection companies is gonna be our warranties. We've always offered them, we're gonna continue to offer them, but it helps just an extra layer of protection for your clients. They don't have to think about them, do anything for them. Really, they should never have to worry about them unless they need to file a claim, in which case they can call me or our client care, and we'll walk them through the process of filing that claim. The longest one of those warranties is our 5-year roof leak warranty, which is a big one for a lot of people. So we come out and do the home inspection, we say the roof looks great, and then within 5 years, there is a roof leak. Again, call us, we'll help them file a claim, get the money, get that fixed. And then some of the things that we rolled out last year that have been helping a lot is our same day and next day inspection guarantee. As we get into spring, we know that things get busier and you guys get busier, more people are buying houses when it's warm out. So we guarantee that we can be out there that same day or the next day to do your home inspections, as well as guaranteed same day reports back. So again, by midnight of the day of the inspection, we will have the reports back. And for both of those, if we, for whatever reason, can't get somebody out there that same day or the next day, or if you don't get your report back by midnight, your clients will get $50 off for both of those. And then we're also offering a 200% satisfaction guarantee. So if your clients are not happy with their inspector, please call me, let me know. Not only are we gonna refund them for that home inspection, but we're gonna provide a second free home inspection at that address with a different inspector. Really, we want you guys to be super happy with your service. And we wanna be a one-stop shop to make it as easy for you guys as possible. So that's why we're doing our same day and next day. And then we also offer radon, mold, sewer line, really anything like that. But yeah, we wanna help you out. Any questions? Yeah.
What's the real danger of the radar?
So a lot of people, I didn't know this before I started actually, but radon is the #1 leading cause of lung cancer for non-smokers. Especially in children because they have a higher rate of respiration, which I did not know any of that. And it comes from the ground. It comes from granite specifically. So you really never know if a house is on a pocket of granite. It is going to be more prevalent around Stone Mountain because it is a giant granite rock. But it can be anywhere. So again, it's in the ground. You really never know. Yeah.
Did you really find that in new homes? Because I had one of my neighbors, he vented it for radon, so it breathes some more, I guess that.
Yeah, so that is the remediation for it if they find radon, is that they put in a vent to basically just keep circulating the air. But it can be in new homes if they don't have that system in place.
But that doesn't have to do with the home, it has to do with the ground.
Yeah.
Underneath it.
Right, so new construction on a slab. So any radon in the ground can soak up through the slab. So anything that has an enclosed space, like a basement, where you don't open the doors very often, those are the spaces you definitely want to test for radon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is where they'll put the system too. They want to put it in the lowest livable level. Yeah.
And Georgia is on a granite rock. Stone Mountain is granite, so we had a lot of radon in the metro Atlanta area.
Yeah, I moved from Georgia. I moved from Chicago and where radon was pretty prevalent, not that this is the radon show, but it was pretty prevalent, but not here. And I don't think, oh, we're fine, I'm on a walkout basement. It's all good. And we had a client that had on a slab and he had higher levels of radon. And I was like, maybe we should get ours tested. Well, we had a company come out and test it and they measured underneath the concrete, right? Because the concrete is a barrier protecting the ground to your house. Underneath our house was reading 1100.
Yeah.
1100. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Scott, you're fine. I'm the professional. So needless to say, we got that mitigated.
Yeah, I mean, it is a cost to get it fixed, but it's a far smaller cost than,
Yeah.
you know, the risk of cancer.
Yeah, my third head.
Yes, answer Michael, new construction winder 3 years ago. 2-story slab, elevated, radon.
Mhm.
So it is everywhere, all over. It's kind of like one of those things of it's part of your bioconsultation and it's part of those inspections that you recommend.
Yeah. And I mean, even because it is underground, it can be in different houses, even just within a neighborhood. So like one house in the neighborhood could be fine, and then another one could have high levels of radon, so. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. All right, any last business cards before I draw?
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you.
You want to draw for me? Sure.
I like it, you really mix it up.
I really like that. So there's no doubt. I wish I had my glasses on. All right, thank you so much. Okay, we have a special, a special person zooming in today. It's Reminder Media. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but it's a publication. So they're joining us, I believe, via Zoom.
Hey, it's
And-
me, Nolan. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
How you guys doing?
Great.
Great.
Good. I am a fellow homeowner with a radon remediation system, so I feel welcome and seen. Thank you for that. No, I appreciate you guys making a couple minutes. I'm going to share my screen. Actually, I think I might need permissions turned on. Whoever's manning the computer, if you can give me permissions to do that, then staring at my face is fine, but it'll probably be more interesting that way. Just quick introduction while this is coming up. Our company's Reminder Media. My name is Nolan. I'm one of the marketing directors here. And our company's been around about 20 years. I was just kind of looking through your office, and I know we've met with you guys in the past. We've worked with a lot of you, so we'd love to see that. What we're really big on is, hey, can we help you guys get more referral business? That's really been the name of the game for us for the past 2 decades. And that's what we're trying to improve. So I want to just share how we could do that. I think it's still not letting me pop this up. Oh, there it goes. Thank you. All right. Is that working okay? Can you guys see that?
Yep, yes.
All right. And you guys have a lot to cover. So I'm going to keep this like the good Lord created my mother. Very short, very sweet. And then I'll leave my information for questions afterward. So the overarching theme with us, and I'm just saying this candidly, forwardly, agents like referral business. When we look at what agents are doing, I would say it's not zero, but there's a gap in what most agents are doing to generate more referral business. And what I mean by that is when we look at their follow-up, it's existent. There's something there, but it's usually fairly basic, if that's not too strong of a word, but it's a lot of the same. It's postcards, it's on social media, I have an email campaign, etc. Not bad things. Keep doing those things. Our goal is to say, hey, if you're willing to kind of go above and beyond, if you're willing to provide even more value to the client, even if it's been 2 or 3 years after the closing, here's the really good news. They're going to know people who buy or sell property. They're going to have other people in their coworkers, their neighbors, their family members. So if you can be top of mind in a way that your competitors aren't, I'm not saying you're going to like quadruple your business overnight, but I'm saying there's going to be opportunities that come up where your name gets mentioned, where otherwise it might slip through the cracks. Okay. So that's what we're trying to provide, is a solution to make sure that happens. The thing that we've really become known for is this branded magazine concept. Okay. We're the ones that started this back in 2004. There's some copycats now. There's nobody doing it quite as well as we are, but here's the quick overview and one update. We have 4 different magazines. The only difference between any of them is the themes that go inside. Okay, different topics, different articles. The layout's identical, the price is identical, quality, all that's the same, just different themes. And now we have it set up where you can use whichever one you want. You can switch between them. You can have different people getting different things. So it's really just, hey, kind of personal preference, what you think they'd like, okay? I'm gonna just flip through a sample really quick. I'll get to questions, we'll wrap up in just a moment. So here's how these puppies look, and they are hard copy. I'm just showing it to you digitally, obviously, because I'm in Philadelphia, so it'd be kind of hard to otherwise. That's all where you're going to show up right on the front, very obvious who this is coming from. So it's got all your info right there. Then there's like 30 to 40 cover options. So just kind of depending on what you like here in the background. If you hate this home, you'll live. There's plenty of other choices there. Inside, there's a letter to the recipient. Pretty self-explanatory. Can make it say whatever you want. We'll put all their names at the top just so it feels a little bit more personal. But if you want to, you can even personalize that note a little bit for different people if you want to take the time to do that. Okay. A couple of these tear out cards, a little perforated card. There's one in the front, one in the back. Just do something fun. We'll give you tons of options, but maybe we put a recipe, maybe it's an invitation to something, a seasonal reminder, trivia. I mean, there's tons of options that we'll give you that you could throw on there that people are going to enjoy. And then the rest, I'm just going to flip through this quickly. It's a 48-page magazine. Okay, it's not just a little brochure, it's a full publication. And what you're going to see really quick, there's no ads. There's no other businesses that we're filling this with. It's all stuff that our team comes up with. And we're just trying to produce something that we think the client actually appreciates getting. It doesn't feel like an ad. It doesn't feel like we're screaming at them for their money, right? It's more of a gift. Hey, we appreciate you. Hope you enjoy this. And you'll get good compliments on that. So that's just kind of a feel for what goes inside. And then I'll skip to the very end. There's one last thing I like to show people here. The whole back cover inside and out is yours. We'll do whatever the heck you want. Okay, we could put your listings, we could put QR codes, market updates, upcoming events, photos of your clients at the closing. I had a guy, this is one of my favorite ones, a guy last week, it's kind of a big, pretty tough looking guy. He's got a little Chihuahua who's got his own Instagram page. So we're putting his puppy on the back, we'll do whatever the heck you guys want to do. All right, but all that, we'll give you templates, we give you an assistant. It's easy. It's not some big, project. But the goal is it gives you something in your tool belt that you can hit your top clients with that's different than just the basic stuff. And here's maybe like to boil it down to a number, to a statistic. One of the best things is we've seen they're keeping this on average over 4 weeks in the home. So if you understand the importance of just being top of mind, 81% of sellers last year, because I know we're going to be talking about how important listings are going to be, right? 81% of sellers only ever talk to one agent. And they use that agent. So if you're the first one they think of, if you're the first one in the conversation, you're probably making some money. You're probably helping that person out. If you're coming late to the party, a little bit of an uphill battle. So that's the concept. Let me just pause there. I'll give you guys a freebie or two as I wrap up. Any questions? Any questions about how this works, timing, different magazines, the articles, anything I can answer for you kind of right off the jump?
If they wanted to reach out to you, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I'll leave you with this. This is all my contact information. I'll put this in the chat too in just a moment. If anybody has any questions at all, I'm not even going over pricing because I've been told you guys have a lot to cover, so I'm just skipping over a bunch. Let me know. If you're interested at all, shoot me a text. Let me know. I'm happy to throw numbers at you, throw options at you, answer questions, whatever it might be. If you're interested, if you're like, hey, this seems good, do me a favor, scan this little QR code with your phone. The deal is there's probably a couple of you sitting here thinking, that sounds awesome. And then you have 18 other things on your to-do list and you will forget about me, and I don't take it personally. And so the deal is if you scan that, it gives you an extra 15 free magazines on the first mailing. It's nothing crazy. It's like $75, but it's a nice little cherry on top for not procrastinating. Okay, so if anybody's interested, just let me know one way or the other. Otherwise, like I said, I'll put my info in the chat. I appreciate you guys. I hope this has been helpful and really do look forward to connecting with some of you soon and seeing how we can help you out, okay?
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody get that QR code and you need it. How much should I count this? Oh, we have it. Yeah, we have it. All right. Okay. I know that Ashley needs to leave pretty soon, so why don't you come on up first?
They're leaving us.
Well, I'm just going across the hall.
Oh.
I'm not going far. So I appreciate you letting me go first. Ashley Connor with O'Kelly and Sorahan. Hope y'all had fun at the happy hour. I had a blast. So I'm thankful and appreciative for everyone that came out. And we'll certainly have another one in April coming up. I think that's one of the dates, if I'm not mistaken, that I got on there. So what I wanted to talk to y'all about this morning is terminations. If y'all were on Coffee Talk yesterday, I touched a little bit on how I'm seeing a lot of incorrect terminations. And so first, make sure you're not terminating prematurely. There's a lot of situations that can come up in a contract where you think, oh, I've got the right to terminate. Let me go ahead and do it. And maybe you do have the right to terminate, but not yet. Right? So an example of that, let's say we're 3 days before closing
and you learn that there's some weird title issue that the seller is just not gonna be able to fix. Not they don't wanna fix it, not they can't pay for it, they're not gonna be able to fix it, okay? Who has the right to terminate and when? Does anybody know?
Nobody yet.
Nobody yet is the right answer. That's correct. That's exactly. Way to go, Bill. On the same page as you. But yeah, that's exactly right. Nobody has the right to terminate. Does anybody know why?
Doesn't the seller have the right to correct it up until the day of closing?
Exactly. That's exactly why. So if you as the buyer, and the buyer and the seller might both want out of the deal, but neither one has the right to unilaterally terminate. Because the seller doesn't have a right at all, because it's not really their right they have in the contract to terminate. And as y'all pointed out, the buyer's right doesn't come about until the closing date has come and gone. If your closing's at 10 a.m. on Friday, you really need to wait till Saturday morning, because technically the seller's got all day. The contract doesn't really contemplate for the fact that you had a scheduled closing, nor does it contemplate the fact that the attorney's office closes.
Actually, I gotta tell this story. You do work with other people that hold earnest money. And when this other person held earnest money, we terminated, we're supposed to close at 10. Our agent terminated about 4 o'clock that afternoon, 4:30. And their photo fought over the earnest money. And the holder of the earnest money gave it back to the other party that they weren't supposed to. And I said, why? He said the seller could have closed by midnight.
Oh.
Now, whatever it might be, did you hear what she said? She said if it was supposed to close at 10, 1, or 4, do not send over the termination until the next day.
That way you know with 100% certainty.
I think they should have gotten that, but
It's an argument.
It's an argument.
Avoid the
we've
argument.
already done.
And your client are really no worse off terminating
The next
Saturday
day.
morning than they are Friday afternoon. So just
But
be,
the point is, I want them to hear that.
yeah, and it's good, follow your broker's rules and hold the earnest money here.
You're saying you were supposed to close Friday to send the termination on Saturday?
Why not?
Hasn't the deal blown up after the end of Friday at 12?
I would have thought so, but what she said, that's why I wanted you to hear her very carefully. Is it just so there won't be an argument?
How can you terminate if the transaction's already ended?
So technically, the seller has the entire day to close. Your contract says that closing date is, let's see, what, today is the 19th, so Friday is the 22nd. So if your closing date is the 22nd, it doesn't say the 22nd at 10 a.m. That's not what your contract says. It says we'll close on the 22nd, which means you have all the way up into 11:59. Even though that's impractical and borderline impossible, but not technically impossible. So they have all the way up until 11:59. So it feels like if it gets to 4 o'clock, there's no way it will close. I'm gonna go ahead and terminate. But as a buyer's agent in this scenario where there's a title issue, don't terminate yet, because you'll technically be in breach because the seller has another 8 hours or 7 hours and 59 minutes to get it closed. So just wait until the next morning.
And they could reschedule the closing. That's the whole thing. Like, if they did fix it, then the closing could be scheduled.
So that is, technically, that is a legitimate reason for the seller to use a unilateral, if that's selling things. If it's a situation where they can't fix it, if it's, I don't feel like paying that much for my lien payoff, that does not qualify for the unilateral. But to your point, that's exactly right. If the unilateral is available and it's, I cannot fix it, they might give you that unilateral at 5 o'clock that afternoon and you're still under contract, so if your buyer's terminated there. So
So I think maybe his question, correct me if I'm wrong, is
Yeah.
it, at 11:59, if it hasn't closed, that contract is dead anyway.
Null and void.
So do you have to send the termination?
Yeah.
You do.
So-
Why
yeah,
is
so
it a complaint?
Because, well, first off, from a practical perspective, the holder of the earnest money needs to know that the parties are not moving forward. So that's really the biggest reason. And honestly, a lot of people don't really understand that. So if everyone is wanting to move forward, the holder of the earnest money, the attorney, the lender, all of them will move forward and would much rather people stay under contract. So you need to send that termination and clarify, hey, we're done.
Her words are perfectly clarified, but I'll tell you, and I'll say this. The date of the contract doesn't mean it goes out of smoke. It doesn't mean it just is over. There's 3 things that have to happen. It closes,
remember the Prosecco. Number two, you get an extension. But if it doesn't close on that date, somebody's in default and one of the parties has got to declare it in default.
Makes sense.
We had an agent, listing agent that didn't do that. And I tell you, 2 months later, the first buyer came back and the judge ruled in that favor because nobody terminated.
Oh.
And a lot of times in court, a judge can say everyone acted as though X, Y, Z occurred, even if that's not quite what your contract says. So you don't wanna get in the scenario where maybe everyone was kind of acting like it, and then someone said, oh, wait a minute, our contract was, it was dead 3 days ago, I'm just gonna move on. A judge could very well say, yeah, I get what you're saying, but you all acted like it was fine. Kind of like I say with the binding agreement date. If you don't correct it, if you've got the wrong binding agreement date and everyone just moves on with life and doesn't say anything, a judge could very well say, yes, binding agreement date was Thursday, but since nobody made a correction, you all acted like it was Friday, I'm gonna honor Friday.
But this only is in regard to getting clear title by the seller.
No, that was just the example that I used. There's a lot of things that could come up.
Wait, terminating the next day after the final date. Is only if the seller cannot come up with.
No.
No, I'm saying in any scenario, if you have the right to terminate and it's dependent on the closing date, seller not getting clear title is one of those examples. You wanna wait until your actual day has fully come and gone. Whether that's closing date, whether that's a contingency date, whatever it is, you wanna make sure that that right has fully and totally eclipsed. And so you terminate the next day. So if you think, oh, I have the right to terminate on Friday, don't terminate 4 o'clock on Friday, terminate midnight on Saturday morning, or whenever you wake up, Saturday. Not just for seller clearing title, any kind of termination that's date specific.
I'll give you a story. I tried to a while ago, but this is the story I just told you. This buyer did not come to closing. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Who would normally get earnest money? Seller, right? Buyer didn't come. So our agent was supposed to close at 1 or that afternoon. At 4:30, she sent over a unilateral termination. Everybody got it? For the seller to get the earnest money. Are we good? The holder of the earnest money, nobody signed that bottom portion of 522 agreeing to do the earnest money. The holder decided to give it back to the buyer. Of course, I had a fit. And so when I called him to say, what made your decision about giving the money back to the buyer was in default. He said, your agent terminated it. Our buyer could have closed later that night. And because the agent sent it over early, the holder gave it back to the buyer who didn't close. Does everybody understand? Stories seem to go in your brain better.
Yes.
Now, and that had nothing to do with title. So what she's saying, regardless, if there's a termination, just sit on it, wait a day and terminate the next day.
Makes sense.
I think we could use maybe a class with scenarios and things like that with the extensions and termination. I think that would be a great idea. Okay, let's add.
My main class, okay, my last class for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, we can do that. I was on fair housing or housing with domain termination.
Yeah,
That's totally.
I think that would be very beneficial.
And just one more quick thing on terminations, if you're in a situation where it's gonna be days before and you don't want everyone to be stuck, don't forget you have a mutual termination. That's a great tool. You are never ever in default for sending over a mutual termination because it means nothing until it's fully executed by both sides. So just know that's a tool in your back pocket if you get kind of stuck, if you will, okay? And then there's a couple things coming up. If you guys need CE credit, I'm teaching a couple of GAR forms updates classes if you haven't made it to some of the other ones. So one of them is gonna be Wednesday, the 27th. I'm teaching that one from 10 to 1 at Neymar. And then the other one is Monday, April 15th. That one's 1 to 4 at a place called The Corners. It's just kind of up in Technology Park, maybe 10 minutes down the road, in Houston Corner / Norcross. So either one of those, again, it's the same CE credit as the GAR forms updates. on April 3rd. Wasn't be fair housing, but we can totally make it about termination, so TBD there, but I will be teaching that day. On Thursday, the 11th, that's our next happy hour, so we're sponsoring that with all of our usual suspects and friends, so we hope you come join us there. Our next new agent meet and greet is gonna be Friday, the 12th, from 10 to 11, and then coffee talk on Monday, the 15th, and then we've got our Q1 cappers lunch on Wednesday, April 17th. So we hope to see you guys there. I appreciate y'all very much, and don't forget to put O'Kelly and Swercan on page 1 of your contracts. Have a good week.
All right, you guys, it's just me today.
Just you.
I mean, yes, it is me today, so, Matt is in North Carolina with her family, Hunter is in Tuscaloosa, so I get to bring you all the wonderful news from the real world. So, this week, or last week, we saw rates push up a little bit. I know we've kind of talked about this a little, but basically what's been going on is that the inflation reports, the labor reports, all the reports that we're getting that the markets are looking at, that the Fed is looking at, they are not showing really what we want to see yet. They're not showing, that inflation is improving as much as the target is. It is improving. It is a little bit lower, but it's not as low as expectations. So there's always two things we're looking at. Is it improving at all, or is it just not improving as much as they want, which is almost just as bad as not improving? So the markets see that this is what they expect. If it comes in here, they don't like it. So basically, at this point, the Fed meeting is this week. It's tomorrow, actually. We should get some notes from that. This is really the first Fed meeting since December. We'll get an updated, what's called a dot report, which is basically, we showed this to you guys a few months ago, but it's pretty much all of the Feds kind of vote and say, this is how many cuts we think should happen this year. This is where we think it should be. So they have all these different dots along this chart, each dot representing what each Fed thinks, right? So in December, that dot report kind of indicated we have maybe 4. Most of the Feds thought we'd probably see 4 cuts this year, 4 Fed cuts. That's not gonna happen at this point. And any cuts that we see will probably be later in the year. So at this point, when we see that new dot report next, or tomorrow, hopefully, what we're really looking for, what the markets are looking for is, hey, are they pulling back more? Are they gonna take away some cuts now and say, hey, we may not even see 3, we may only see 2. So as you kind of know, originally back in January, there was a chance that, hey, we might see a first cut this spring. That's obviously off the table. There will be no cuts this month. So now it's kind of pushed into, hey, maybe we'll see one in May or June. Probably not May. That's pretty much kind of not, the consensus is that won't happen, maybe June. So right now, 60% chance likelihood is what the markets are pricing in, that we might see the first cut in June and we might have 3 this year. We might know more tomorrow. So really, everyone's kind of holding their breath a little bit to see what is the Fed gonna come out and say. The last couple months of stronger than expected data, is it really gonna push us maybe even later in the year for a cut, maybe take away one of those expected cuts? So tune in next week and we will have more information on that. But right now rates are probably hovering right around 7. They pushed up last week from about 6.85 to about 7.09-ish on a national average. So conventional 30-year, right around 7. Again, we still got some of those first-time buyer products, especially that have the lower than market rate, along with some of the credits for closing 3, 5, and 8 grand, depending on where your borrower might fit. But aside from the market update, the one thing I wanted to let you guys know is what we are seeing a lot of, not only competing offers when offers are going in, but we're hearing from agents and buyers too that they're just having a hard time finding a house, right? So you guys can probably attest to that. Which for us, from what we see and what we do on our side, it sounds like it's that much more important for you guys to really, really try to get them, not only pre-approved, underwritten if you can. So when they do find the house, we can get in there with super strong terms, no contingencies, we're making the phone calls to the listing agents for you. We're doing everything we can, but let's really work together to try to get that buyer set up. Because if it's, not only is it competitive, they're having a hard time finding a house. So when they do find the house, we really want to help them win it. So let us know, talk to us if you've got someone, then they're not pre-underwritten yet, you just got them as a client, maybe you met them at the house and they're like, I love it, and they wanna make an offer, call us, we will jump through hoops, we do it all the time, we will do it for you every single time. Get them an app in, get them a letter, get them 7 days, get them through due diligence with, we can still underwrite them that quickly. We don't want all of the loans not to be underwritten first, we would love as many as we can, but we're there for you, so if that's what it's gonna take, we'll do it. And just call us, let us know, put us in touch with that buyer and, say, hey, we need to make an offer. We'll get done what needs to be done, but, any questions on anything, markets or pre-underwriting? All right, y'all, I'm sad that I missed the happy hour last week. It was my mother's birthday and my family was in town, so I was like, I gotta go to Melvin's birthday dinner, so I missed you all and looking forward to the one next month. One last thing before I leave you, April 8th, Monday, 10 a.m., I'm doing a class and we're gonna do it on the DSCR loan. So last month I did, like our non-mortgageable condo one. This week, so same kind of portfolio style loan, but this is the DSCR, so the debt service coverage ratio. This is our investment loan that can do all sorts of things. It can do non-mortgageable condos. It can do basically the no DTI investor loan. We are not looking at income. We are not looking at tax returns. We're not looking at any of that stuff. It's, hey, does the cash flow projected for this property more than cover the PITI payment projected for it? And if it does, it's cash flow positive, that meets the DSCR ratio of 4% or more, meaning it's going to cover itself. So this is the perfect kind of loan for your investors who are not wanting to do tax returns. Maybe they've got multiple properties and it's just a pain. This is the kind of loan for them. So April 8th, 10 a.m. right here. Come by.
Okay, pass that here. Kelly. All right.
And, I don't see Jamie either. Jamie was in from Gilstrap earlier.
They were up by Jessica's desk when I got here.
Okay, great. Okay.
And Jason was.
All right, we have a special announcement.
Right, tell us what's going on.
What is?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I am very excited to announce, some of you may have met Jordan, she has taught some classes with me. She is our new CDO. Whoa. On the 29th of this month, my husband and I are moving to Florida.
Yeah.
I want to be a super yacht captain. So we are going to work in the maritime industry and, we have living a life by design, all that we've learned from the Keller Williams ecosystem. We are, we read that red book and put all those things into action and are able to have our business have someone even better than us in charge. And we are going to chase our next one, 7th level. So Jordan has not only been working with us in Dine Endeavors and training for this role for the past 6 months, but she ran through her home team for the past 3 years. So she not only knows our print business and what all we can do, but she knows your business and she ran the sandbox we had that built Dine Endeavors for the past 2 years. So she knows what you're doing and is gonna be able to, with our new team, we have some new team that's just been hired and really excited.
I just wanted to say I'm super excited for new opportunities, and I know some of you, and I know some of your headshots from us emailing back and forth. Putting that together with faces, and I'm super excited to see what we'll do together.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. If you've emailed me in the past 2 weeks, Brian at Dine Endeavors, it's already gone into our main team inbox, and going forward, you are like me and you just, whatever you type in Diane, it comes up, you hit send, it'll still go into our team inbox, or just team at Dine Endeavors, and then you're gonna have more people looking at it than just waiting for me to answer. So.
Can we still text you when you're in the Caribbean?
Yeah, so you can, we'll see
The yacht you're on.
We get the sound on the yacht.
But hey, when we 7th level this next day, when we own our own super yacht, then we'll have a big KW party. Yeah, We'll see, Matt, depends on what country we're in and how much cellular service. So, thank you all so much, it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you, and I hope that you will take the trust that you've put in us and be here for our team, and thank you all. so much. And I'll be here next week too. We have to scoot out a little early, we have to do this again. But
Make it around.
yeah.
All right, cool. So I have an improv decision. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna just call Ryan. Sounds amazing. Super young. Congratulations. That's amazing. Both with building the team to the 7th level and to live life by design. So congratulations. Super excited for you. And incredibly jealous in the same.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. Yeah, so a couple quick things here. I wanted to share a couple of updates that are coming out to Command. Unfortunately, they're like in the Flight Club aspect of Command, so I can't share them on screen, so I'll kind of talk through them. And then Lucy and I have probably one of the best kept secrets inside of Command that I think that we're not trying to keep it a secret, but we want to share it with you. The next couple of weeks inside of Command, has anyone ever filled out a contact before inside of Command? Spent about 5 minutes filling out the details of the contact, just to get the screen that says like, hey, this contact already exists.
Yes.
That's fun, isn't it? So they're changing that aspect of it to now to where there's instant validation against the phone number and the email. So immediately it'll pop up saying, hey, this number is in use, this email is in use. That way they get to go through the whole 5 minutes creating contact and then that message coming up. So that usability fund is coming out in the next 2 weeks, which is really exciting. This is a stupid one and it doesn't really have a functionality, but I'll include it in my notes. There is now a bulk add to emails functionality that's coming inside the Command. That's kind of like just, we're starting to make email campaigns become a little more functional. That one's just kind of like, it is what it is. It's gonna lead to something bigger one day. But the one that I'm really, really excited about, and I sandbagged for last, is there will be in the next 2 weeks, a rule that you can create about, around smart plans. That when you set up your smart plan, it will auto remove somebody from a smart plan if they respond to a text or respond to an email and you have that choice. So if I set up like a really elaborate smart plan for like Facebook or open houses, whatever, you can now create the option that says, hey, if a person responds, I want that smart plan to end.
Oh,
Yes, that's a huge functionality piece. As soon as I get access to that outside of Flight Club, I'll demo that for all of you. And then we wanted to share, this is one of our favorite things. So Lucy and I teach a class that we call like Speed Date Command. Has a couple different topics that we typically go into. Basically, it's a bunch of like little hacks that we found that will never warrant a full class. And yet are super helpful and it works. Have you ever been in a situation in which you have ever like worked with a buyer, you had gone under contract, and then the contract terminated?
No, that never happened.
Typically, just show of hands, no judgment here, who's had to create a random opportunity every time this happened? Start from scratch with that? What's going on here? I'm in flashbacks to like 2012, whenever you heard used to be on a Tuesday. Don't keep it out, baby. Are you first now?
No.
So I mean, switch your profile to.
You call when you get across. I know who
I jump on the kidding, I support like all the average, unfortunately. Shucks.
Oh, it's over here. There it is.
The cool thing is this is Word, the way here. There we go. All right, well. All right, so forgiveness is a listing. I mean, this work on listings as well. But have you ever filled out the, oh, which you gonna show, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So if you have things here and this is falling through, So we need a new clean version. We can actually click here. And click add version. And then we can name it whatever. This is just automatically what it does, listed version 2. And then we can click create new version. What it'll do is it'll clean this up so that now we can add the new docs from the updated version.
Wow. And we can do that several times, right? Assuming that.
I have yet to find one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many times. So that's a really nice thing to do, like Sam said, when you're working with the buyer, that falls through, you have a new clean slate.
Yep, and that exists in each of those folders. So for listed, under contract close, and then on the higher side where it says consultation under contract close, you always have this button. It doesn't appear to be a button, but when you click that version, gives you a whole clean slate of a place to upload your documents.
Yeah.
By the way, this has existed since like day one of command.
I thought I'd seen it.
You never has a button unless
Hey, show me click again, right under.
you just click the.
Okay, there you go, okay.
Yep,
Yeah, you got it. And then you add.
Wow.
yeah, we can copy it's ever overlooked in this, so we should make sure we have them.
And the other versions are still there. It's just you have a nice clean slate.
Yeah, God forbid you get audited, what's nice is that they would, all of your documents would essentially be that one opportunity, makes it really easy.
All right, any questions on that?
Now, is that helpful, is that worth the wait?
Yeah.
Can your question?
So when you go to the listed side over there, you have to do a version 2, then you have to go to under contract and do a version 2, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So like in the buyer.
You don't have to, but that would just be for that phase of the contract that they have to, because if your listing agreement would technically be great, for a reason, maybe you do a new purchase and sale, then you would
Yeah.
only add the version for your under contract. Okay.
Right, and your buyer's brokerage agreement still stays
Yeah.
active and the same, so all of your broker documents can stay.
Yeah.
It's just you're under contract.
As long as the date's on it, as long as the date's on it, you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've used this before, I've known about it for a while. You have to be mindful of the fact that because Lucy's great, she teaches us a lot. But you have to be mindful of the fact that your opportunity name never will change that.
Yeah, great points.
You're on a different street that you're on the contract.
Great point.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. And then, the last thing on April 18th, go ahead and mark your calendars. The Southeast Region is putting on, success. It's under your, I was either off.
Success is under your commitments.
So that's a regional event. It starts at, I think, 9 AM or 9:30. We'll go until 3:30. All day technology. I know artificial intelligence could be a huge conversation around this one. And then a lot of really cool command stuff we pull into the business as well. I'm sure we'll probably have some more conversation as well, before April, but, if you can mark your calendars for April 18th, I'm going to. Cool. Thank you. All right.
Right, speaking of all that new stuff, Melba, why don't you fill us in?
No, I'm not. Good morning.
I like your photograph.
Well, thank you. It's the older picture of Melvin. Good morning. For those that do not know me, my name is Melva Franklin, and basically what I do is I am the Director of Broker Services. So I answer broker questions, contract questions, and hopefully a lot of you know that you call me on nights and weekends, and I'm available. Somebody called me Sunday and said, I can't believe you're answering the phone. I thought, well, that's my job. But I go to every team meeting. So what I want you to hear is I go the second Tuesday of every month, I'm at Windward. The third Tuesday of every month, I am here. The fourth Tuesday of every month, I'm at Roswell. Now, there's some times that it doesn't work out, or I go to Savannah, and I try to make it up at another time. So a lot of people ask me, how do I know when you're always going to be at Chat North? It's always the third Tuesday at your team meeting. Everybody got it? So because of that, because I carry the same message at every team meeting for the entire month. And last Tuesday, when I was at Windward, we did not have an issue that came up on Friday. I will address it. That's not why I'm here today, however, normally. So I want to bring to you what I brought to the other agents at Windward, and I will carry that, and then afterwards, I will address the issue that you're all wanting to. But I would not be doing what I should be doing if I didn't tell you what I'm trying to tell. I love the heads nodding. Thank you for understanding and appreciating what I'm doing. So I had 3 items that I'm bringing this month. One is thank you again for remembering that the affiliated business arrangement disclosure must be a part of every contract. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Number two, lead-based. Folks, you have got GOT to make sure that number 9 on the purchase and sale agreement says it is or is not built prior to 1978. Folks, you cannot leave that blank. Now, what I want you to take away from me today is this. I'm a listing agent. Ding dong bell. Have you ever co-opted with a ding dong bell? Yes, you have. And Ding Dong Bell did not check the fact that they're the number 9, right? They left it blank. And you did not correct it as a listing agent. The EPA is going to say you're as guilty as the person that filled it out. Everybody got it? So I said this and I repeat, the listing agents need to be more mindful of paying attention to the purchase and sale agreement, because if there is an error and you didn't correct it, then you're as guilty as the person that made the error in the eyes of the Real Estate Commission, in the eyes of the EPA and others. Does everybody understand it? So as a listing agent, you need to make sure all of it is correct, but please help us with lead-based paint, because there have been some heavy fines in some other companies relative to this. Your errors and admissions insurance will not cover you on this. Everybody got it? Good. The third thing, and actually sort of ties in, and I've been doing this and I'm doing it at all team meetings. I love, if you know me and know me well, you know that I'm an advocate for our association. And a part of your local board dues, whether it be Neymar or 400 North or the Atlanta board, a portion of it pays the Georgia Association of Realtors. And there's an enormous amount of benefits that I have been told and interesting people don't know about. So I wanted to show you just real quickly today that, and I'm going to sort of run the computer if I can, but here is the website. It's garealtor.com, garealtor.com. You all have access. And when you go to this website, you're going to find a zillion good things. And I am, oh goodness, great right here. Okay, that worked out well. Okay, so what I want to show you yet,
Yeah, you got it.
on some of these, there are so many great things that you have access to, and on some of them, you will have to have your passcode. If you don't have your passcode with GAR, get it. There are so many things. One of them that I go to a lot, right here is law and ethics. If you want to know the code of ethics, by the way, I'll start teaching code of ethics in May. That's another story. The contract forms, let's say you want a copy of one of the forms, but you don't want to go to command to pull it up because you're not going to interact with it. The forms here are not interactable. You can't fill them out. They're just to print. So let's say you wanted to just go print a form. You can go to GA Realtor, go to right here. But again, you're going to have to give your NERDS number. Do you know I know my NERDS number by heart? 288-501-906. It's crazy. And I'm old, but when you have one that long as I do, you just know. And then, but what I also want to show you is the legal helpline. See that next to the bottom, close to the bottom? Seth Weissman is our attorney for GAR. And this is a legal helpline. So let's say you had a legal question and you were in a hurry, you could send it to Seth. I had one the other day that was crazy, and I got a direct line to Seth. The minute the thing came out on Friday, Seth called me. So he and I are close and we have a great relationship. But I love to sometimes ask questions here. You have access to this to have a legal helpline. There are so much stuff, but this is the one I want to show you today. Education, but go to members. And when you go, this is not my favorite thing. Go to member resources. And over here is plug in with GAR. Now, every month, they come out with something new. As you can tell, this is not my gift. How do I make it go down? It's not going down. Okay. Go down. Other way. Go down. Stop, there you go. I'm sorry, you yelling. I didn't know. So what I want to show you is every month, they come out with these unbelievable resources for you. Oh, why did they use 2 fingers? Oh, yeah, 2 fingers? This is the most control.
Go the opposite way.
Okay, okay, I want you to go and click that PDF. That, no, 2024, I want it to come up, there you go.
And which one first?
It doesn't matter, they're all the same, it's just different formats, JPEG, everybody got it? Now, pull it, go up, this is unbelievable. This is every month, your Georgia Association of Realtors gives you these great, colorful things that you could use. Could you use that in your buyer consult? Hello? Hello, and this stuff is free, it comes out every month. And there's all kinds of good ones, one was for sale by own, so you can go back and have access to this. And it comes out every month, everybody got it? So my value to you was to show you the GAR website today, not only all of the other benefits, this one, I didn't even have to plug in. So it's a great resource for you to be able to have some of these things, because you can download it in different kinds of formats for you to use in your presentation if you don't want it signed, but they're different every month and you get a new one every month from GAR. We good? Okay, good. So a lot of people didn't know about that. It always breaks my heart when we don't know something. So that was my value. But because I'm here, Dina and Carrie had asked me to address some of the issues that has happened as of late. So if I was really going to boil it all down, I would tell you today that truly and honestly, we got to focus on what we can control, right? Can we control all this minutia? Do we know what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen to July, actually, even if it gets settled by then and they agree, right? But you got that, and we're telling you that, and we're sending you things. But my daughter lives in Wellington Lake. She and Bill went to Auburn over the weekend they have two daughters at Auburn, and they went for the sorority parent weekend. So, hello, Melba gets to keep the twin boys who are 14. Everybody got it? So I'm at their house, and on Saturday, we pull in from doing something, and when I do, next door to Nicole and Bill lives a 90-year-old lady. Many of you know her husband was sort of famous in real estate and the building world, Bill Stark. And there's a hedge, and I pull in, and her garage is open, and she's in the garage. Now, she is knocked down, drag out, beautiful 90-year-old woman. I think she's done it too. I mean, it's crazy. And across the hedge, she yells at me, Melba, I hear that the real estate commission's going down. Now, you know me, we like to talk about things before it happens because you want to go. That is stupid as thing, but you don't want to, you can't do that, right? So I said, Betty. I mean, she didn't say, hello, Melba. No. I said, Betty, no, commissions haven't changed a bit. It's still negotiable. What changed is we just got to show our value better and articulate it. She said, I knew you'd know the answer to that. How are you doing? Does everybody get the point? You got to have a comeback, right? Are they wanting a whole dissertation of what's going on? No. Is the media helping this issue?
Oh, God.
They're perpetuating it without a doubt and not making it easy. But I thought Betty's question was I hear the real estate commission's gonna be going down. No. Is that what happened? No. Can we just say no? Yeah, we can say no. We can say, no, that's not what happened. It's just negotiable. Always has been, actually. See, this is what irritates me. I love NAR. I love everything they do. Folks, you would not be sitting here today selling real estate if it wasn't for NAR. You don't have a clue how much they advocate for you on the Hill. You don't have a clue. The National Association, I can't even imagine not being a part. I am an advocate for our Georgia Association of Realtors and for NAR. NAR did a great thing. They didn't want to settle. They did nothing wrong. And they've done nothing wrong. But for months and months and months, they tried to do something and talk to these people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and you can throw a rock at me if you want to, but a lot of it had to do with the attorneys. And I mean, I'm just telling, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, they advocate this kind of stuff and they're getting paid a lot for it. And as a result, we are suffering. We have never, ever, ever, ever dictated. As a matter of fact, I looked back and I was teaching in January. When I go to team meetings, I have the same consistent conversation that I told you earlier. And I had been talking about the new GAR form for sellers, and we talked about the value. And I've been talking about having a value for buyers for a long time, even though we just got it. I tried not to hear that. But it's to me, and I said this at the last team meeting, I said, one of the things I'm so happy about all of this, and this was before Friday. My favorite thing is what's gonna come out of this is it finally, we're gonna do what we should have always been doing. The buyer consultation much earlier and selling our sellers like we do our sellers, how we spend the time with the seller listing presentation. We tell them our plans and we have scripts to overcome objections. We should have been doing this with buyers. Well, I treat buyers differently than sellers. I think sometimes you work harder for a buyer than you do a seller. Why weren't we giving our value and sitting down with them and having presentations like we were with the sellers? So back to what I said a few minutes ago. We can't control what we can only do what we can control. What can we control? Working on our value, working on our consultation, practicing getting it early. And I hope they do come out with this rule. I don't know that they will, but you can't show houses that you have a buyer signed agreement. You can't show a house unless you represent the buyer and you have, can you represent the buyer without an agreement signed? No, in Georgia, to represent a buyer, you have to have a signed agreement. Remember, if you ever come to my class, I teach a class and part of it is how you're a secret agent, because you might go into a house without a signed agreement, but you talk like you're their agent. Can't do that really. You're supposed to have a signed agreement, right? So I hope they come out with, you can't show a house and represent a buyer unless you have a signed agreement beforehand.
I thought that was established already. That was one of the requirements.
It might be. I'm very careful about what I say because nothing is in concrete yet. What I'm saying is you can only control what you can't control what you don't know. And today, can I control practicing getting a buyer consultation early and getting something signed before I show property? If that's what, I don't know if that's what's gonna end up happening, but it could. Did I just say that's what I like best about it? We have needed to do this before. I don't understand why we didn't treat buyers like we did sellers and do this a long time ago. Does everybody get it? As part of compliance, you would have a heart attack if you saw how turning a buyer brokerage engagement agreement. Because the law, the law, I don't like it, says in a timely manner. This is the Georgia Real Estate License Law. You have to have a buyer brokerage engagement agreement to represent a buyer. And you have to have it in a timely manner, but in no later than prior to writing an offer for the buyer. And so some people take that all the way. So I think you should do it a lot earlier. So my great part about all this is that you can do it. So I'm gonna finish and Rich, I hear you, I see your hand, and I want to answer, but I want to finish my other conversations relative to this, and then I'll let questions. Is that okay with you, thank you? The other thing is, okay, it happens, and they don't put it in the multiple listing service. Well, no, it's old. And I had a conversation earlier, I think he fell out of his chair. I told him, I sold real estate, there was no such thing as agents. He said, what? I said, there was no agency. The point I'm trying to make, when I sell real estate, the commission wasn't posted on the multiple listing service. So, okay, it can't get posted. It doesn't mean commission changed. Can you put it on a flyer? Can you put it on your website? Everybody got it? The multiple listing services, which is governed under NAR, are just saying that there's in the recommendation to settle. And I'm glad they did. They said, to heck with all this, we can't go on. It's silly to just keep dragging it out. Well, the settlement says multiple listing services can't disclose, put that in their multiple listing service, but you can put it anywhere else you want to. And when I sold real estate, we had to pick up the agent, say, hi, my name is Melvin Franklin, I want to show your property. And I just wondered if your seller paid commission. Yes, my seller will pay a 3% commission. Could that very well happen? I taught a class or did this down at, I talked about the old form or the new form in 2024 for the listing side. And I did that and the other office in Roswell, Heather Hare was in there and she made this comment. I can't, maybe she did it on Andy's Zoom when Andy did the Zoom. So before this Friday stuff came out, we might have been on it and heard her say this, that it's disclosed in the multiple listing service that the seller was not paying. And my first thing to tell you when I came to the last team meeting, what does anybody remember the first thing I told you if it says that? Excellent. Call the agent before you do anything. And she did it and they said, okay. You were on that call, don't make this do up, right? It's truth call. And so she was on, it was the Andy call. And she made a comment that she had heard that. She called the agent and the agent said, yes, we will pay 3. Isn't that crazy? So you just pick up the thing. Now, is there some disclosure for you? Can people get amnesia? Oh, yeah. So there is a form, and we'll probably use it a lot more than we've ever used it before, and it's called L528. That's not true, L258. That's wrong with it. L258. L258, and we've had it forever, and it's called the co-op commission agreement. And I mentioned it in that, and Heather said, she sent that agreement over. People said, can I use the instructions to closing attorney? These people are literal. Instructions to closing attorney. Everybody got it? No, you have to have a co-op commission agreement. Everybody got it? You're still going to need the instructions to closing attorney. Does everybody get it? Remember, I don't like to tell you things. I like for you to get it. Does everybody understand it? So they're 2 separate agreements. So in this case, you call up the agent and they say yes. And then you say, great, I'm gonna send over the co-op commitment agreement, and you would probably get that signed before you actually write it down. Okay, so everybody good? So these are the things, I want to ask questions. So these are the things, I just want to get through this. I do believe that NFL did the settlement and the agreement to benefit their agent. I really, really do. I feel like that, well, I'm gonna say this too. I think they did it to benefit the consumer as well. It's always been their goal that they want to be, to preserve consumer choice and protect our members and NAR at the greatest possible, extent. So the cooperative commission has always been a choice and it will continue to be a choice. You are lucky that we live in Georgia because Seth, who is our attorney for Georgia Association of Realtors, actually fixed our forms on the seller's side before this came out, which is in great, perfect alignment with what's going to happen. So I think they did a good job. So that being said, I just want to make sure I told you everything I was supposed to. I will be glad to answer questions for you. Yes. Oh, can I borrow Rich?
Well, you actually answered my question because I had read that they weren't gonna be able to put the buyer's compensation on the MLS anymore, so.
That's
answered the whole thing.
Okay, thank you.
And you cannot put remarks.
If you can't put it on the multiple listing service, you can't put it anywhere.
What about the Georgia MLS? Are they affected?
MLS is actually more effective. Oh, yes. The Georgia Association, let me get right, Georgia Multiple Listings is a part of the CAB board. Did you know that? FMLS is not. So if anybody could be exonerated, it would be FMLS. But they're going to comply to. They're meeting this week. I already know people there in meetings. Everybody says, what's going to happen? How about this? Let's try this. Let's do this scenario. Let's do this scenario. I'm going, folks, we can't control that, can we? Let's wait because we don't know. The multiple listing services are meeting every day. I talked to Seth, actually, I said, are you going to do another broadcast? He said, right now, there's so much Good work. They're everywhere. He said, we've got to wait to let it settle because right now he couldn't even do it because all of you start screaming at him stuff that he couldn't answer. What I'm here for you, and I'm gonna answer the rest of the questions, what I want you to do is answer Miss Betty's question. Everybody got it?
Melba, Cheryl, Amari, and Zoomland. Can you?
Everybody get it? I want to help you with those scenarios. So did I answer your question?
Two things. So you're saying that nothing happens until July, the form?
Okay.
What did you say about
Okay,
July?
I will give you a copy of this NAR and you can read it. There's a settlement that has been proposed. It has to go to the other side to see if they want to tweak it, eat it, do whatever. And it's proposed that if they accept this, it would be effective in July. Does that mean it will be?
No.
No. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
I'll give you a copy of this if you need it.
So currently, we can make a listing and we can show it to buyers commission.
It's business, that's what I want you to hear today. Thank you, Susan.
July.
It's business as usual.
So further notice.
Let's say this, and I think your team leader did a great job. Everybody listen, everybody listen. And Rick, you should be thankful that you're a part of Keller Williams. Did you see the long thing they sent to all of the people? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. There's gonna be a Zoom. You get that? You should be on it. Attention to what's going on. Everybody got it? There's, how many companies are doing this? I'm trying to help you with the other people because y'all are the most informed there is. So I want to say this to you. We're on top of it. I guarantee you. And the minute we know, we'll tell you. I promise. Does that got it? You should be very comfortable. The problem I've got to deal with is Miss Betty. So being, God help her, she died. She knew I was using her today. But the point is, when I say that, now you know, right? Because you're gonna get weird questions and you're gonna be thinking that there are a lot of agents out there that think the law changed Friday. Everybody got it?
Melba, can I ask a question from Zoomland? It's Cheryl Amari. Do you think a lot of agents are going to include the co-op agreement and or instructions to closing attorney in their offers as part of the contract?
That's a good question. I have, that is on the table right now as to where, now listen what she said. Remember when we had multiple offers on properties? We learned a great technique back then. Listing agents would upload instructions of what the seller wants. Seller wants to live in the house 60 days. He would, all that crazy stuff you did. And I love that because as an agent, and there were multiple offers, you got a piece of paper that was uploaded. So if I hear what you're saying, can we put that in an upload on a piece of paper? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but also, we used to not include any commission on contracts. So I'm just wondering if this is.
No, it will never be on a contract. No.
Okay.
No, it will it can't be a part of your negotiating. That will never come back. We don't negotiate our commission in a purchase and sell agreement. The purchase and sell agreement is between a buyer and a seller. What you get is between another piece of paper that will never come back on a contract. But her question, what I don't know the answer to is that I know you can't put it in private, you can't put it in multiplicity. Can you upload instructions? I don't know the answer to that. I'm leaning toward they're gonna come back no, but Seth, I have that on his table. Everybody got it? Because I don't actually know if that could be the case. Everybody got it? Now, wouldn't that be nice?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope, did I answer it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just expecting agents to do that, to make it part of.
Now, I'm supposed to put it in a contract.
We'll
We've
just
always
have
said
to
that.
counter, that's all. Okay.
No, ma'am, you shouldn't, you get this done. Did I tell you before the contract?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that? Did I say get that form signed before a contract?
Yeah.
We don't negotiate our commission in a contract. That's going to be no, that could be bad. Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that MSP58 actually should be signed before a show.
Not before showing,
It
no.
actually says it on the.
If you want to do it, it does say it on the form before showing, it would be more comfortable to do it. But let's say I'm showing property and I said this last time, and I realize, I wouldn't be in Zoom room. And I realized that out of the 4 houses I've shown, one of them, dadgummit, when they wanna buy, doesn't offer a commission. Everybody got it? So I've already shown it to them. So her question was on 258, underneath the topics, they're gonna take that out, before the showing. You can still do it after showing.
That's what I wanted to know.
It just says ideally, it would be done before, and you can do it before. I noticed I'm showing 4 properties today, yours is not off, can I get one? Because see what's gonna happen, listen to, Seth is so far ahead of the game. Are you ready? Because today, we use it later, because out of the 4, 3 of them, that's just getting me off track. 3 of them pay. In the future, all 4 won't have it on multiple listing. Do you see what I'm saying? So you are gonna do it before. Does that make sense? Do you understand what, that was a great question. Right now, I have been teaching you can use that form later. Because out of all of them, right now, it's all showing on the multiple listing service, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed till July.
I didn't say that.
No.
No, I did not say that. I said, nothing has changed now. The proposal is July, but I don't want to go around saying things are changing in July. I don't want anybody to leave here saying that. We don't know. That's what this.
Everything you say now, as far as putting your.
Yes, so my point is, to her comment, Sandy, is that right now, there's a variety of different things, and you would do it before, when you don't know till the last minute. Whereas in the future, there will be none on the multiple listing service. So you're gonna get that form signed before, aren't you? Before you show property. Yes, Susan.
And in a lot of areas, like my son sold real estate, and
It's been that.
never that way, and he had to call me for it.
It's been so.
And get it in writing.
Yeah, this is commercial properties. We're all, we get in our habits, don't we, Susan? And we get comfortable with the way it is, so we're now in panic shop. And I laugh because like I told Dallas, it was this way with me, it's this way where your son is, it's this way in London, is this way in other places. Let's just all take a breather, and we're gonna have to call, and so what? And there's gonna be, we'll see. You can't answer it, asking. One more.
All right, 258, I call them, they say, yes, they'll pay it. Then a month later, they say, I don't remember having that conversation with you, if I didn't do it in writing.
You get 258, remember that form?
Yeah,
When they say they will, what are you gonna do?
you said you don't give it to them until after you go to write the contract. Without
You send it to them the minute you talk to them.
Yeah. As soon as they say, that's what everybody.
Before the showing.
You can get it, okay, yes, let me just ask you, yeah. Yes, 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 without that. But everybody got the other part, yeah.
What am I missing?
Oh, you're good, you're good. Today, close your ear, today, you might get that signed after the show.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions in Zoom land or in here? I want to ask you a question.
Okay, you have a question? Gretchen, did you have a question or anyone else on Zoom yet?
I do, Melba, that's Gretchen. Thank you so much for advocating for us. I'm seeing, I'm reading, and I'm hearing, I'm getting phone calls hour after hour from people who are saying NAR sold us out. Thank you for advocating for NAR and for GAR and for the local associations and everything we do for our realtors. Can you speak one moment about the importance of advocation and RPAC, because I know you're a major investor, and explain that to realtors that just don't know?
Folks, I'm gonna tell you, I said it a while ago, and I don't know if you heard me, and I'm gonna say it again. I guarantee you would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for NAR's under the cover, nobody knows about your advocates on the Hill. I've been there. And I want to tell you, there are the stupidest bills come out every day. And what's so unusual is this is the only trade, and there are a lot of trade associations. This is the only trade association that fights as hard for the public for private rights as it does for their people that are members. And these people, these lobbyists on the Hill that are fighting against these crazy bills that never come to fruition, whether they be in, Washington, or whether they be in the local state, it is unbelievable. That's just one tiny little bit, and it's huge. Yes, I've been an RPAC investor. I give $1,000 every year for way over 10 years, because I believe in helping our realtor NAR fight for what I believe in. I believe in private property rights. Do you know, some of you are not as old as me, but some of you might remember, I don't know, but years and years ago on our income tax, we could take off the interest on a credit card, or you remember this, some of you? I'm not making that up. It's real true. Well, they took that away. Do you know that somebody on the Hill every day has been fighting for years to take away the interest off of your own mortgage so you can't use it as an income tax deduction? Isn't that an advantage of homeownership?
They basically already have by increasing the standard deduction.
Well, but my point is, they've been fighting for 10 years to get, when they got rid of the interest on cards and the interest on credit cards, they've been trying to get rid of the interest. And that's the only interest tax deduction you can take today, which is a big one, because remember your house payment, 2 cents of it is principal and the other zillion part of it. And so they've been trying to take that away. My point is, that's just one. There's a zillion.
That tax, 6% sales tax that could have been charged for every real estate transaction.
Unbelievable. There's so many, I can't even name them. So I'm a big advocate. But let me tell you this. Ironically, God is so good to me, because if you'll go back every team meeting, I've been a little bit ahead of the curve, because I talked about a lot of this before it happened. And today, this is my team meeting theme for this whole month, has been the GFR website. Isn't that a part of your association? And the benefits, and I just showed you the zillion benefits they are. So it's not just your local board benefits, it's your GAR. Do you like our forms in Georgia? Yep. Yeah. Do you know in the state of Alabama, they do not have standardized forms, and every office has a different form. Can you imagine being a listing agent and getting a different, thank you, that would not be fun, would it? So my point is, our Georgia Association of Realtors has standardized forms in the state of Georgia. Check. I mean, there's zillions of benefits of being a part of a local board, your state board, and your national board. I'm crazy. I love to have a code of ethics. One of the reasons I love Keller Williams, and I love that they have a belief system. Do you know there are other companies that I work for didn't have a belief system? We have a belief system. I love the fact that we don't have a problem telling you what our mission statement is, where other companies don't even know what it is. Well, so does NAR. NAR has a code of ethics, and we have to abide by it. And they want you to abide by it so much that every 3 years you have to take a class so you can remember what the code of ethics are. Wow. I love when I teach code of ethics, you'll hear me say this. I'm so proud. And I tell, I go to listing appointment now, you can go to our buyer appointment. I'm a member of the National Association of Realtors, and we're one of the trade organizations that has a code of ethics. And because I'm a member, I have to abide by those code of ethics. And I'm very proud, like I'm proud to be with Keller Williams, I'm proud to be a realtor, that I can abide by the code of ethics and we give it to our agents. Wow. And guess what? The best part of this whole story, not only do they provide code of ethics, they police. No other organization does that. I've been on the professional standards and grievance committee, and I'm chairing one not too far from now. I chair hearings on ethics. I've been there, done that for years. And I love the fact that not only do we provide it, but we govern it. Pretty cool. So yes, I'm a big advocate. Thank you. I'm a very big one. Any other questions? I don't know the answers. I wish I did. I don't, because I don't know what's going to happen. I know I love the fact that I can only tell you what we can control. And I want you to leave here, with a value for your buyers so that you can learn to have a great buyer consultation and you can learn to sit down with the buyer and go over the whole thing and sell it to them. Because I want you to do this. Another agent at Rawlsville said this, I did such a good job of going over my buyer consultation with the buyer that they had a burning, yearning desire to want to pay me. They wanted me to make money. Isn't that good? What, isn't that what you want the buyer to do? To be such an advocate for you and appreciate your value that they want you to get paid.
Hey, Melvin, you and I were talking about earlier that when you go into Nordstrom's or Ritz, Carlton, you know the value is higher. So how do we become the Nordstrom or the Ritz to where our clients want to pay that value?
Wow.
And when is the last time our average commission is $15,000? When is the last time you paid $15,000 for something? What kind of value do you put on that? How did you find value in paying $15,000 for something? Well, that's your value for your average commission.
Excellent.
So you have to quantify that value to be able to allow your client to want to pay that for your services, right? For our services.
And that's what I leave you with today. Your classes, there's going to be all kinds of materials for you to help you with your buyer consultations. Do not, if you have anything on your agenda, make sure you have a great buyer's guide. You have a great buyer consultation. You can handle scripts and you can sell that form, the buyer brokerage engagement agreement. Everybody got it? That is your job. That's what you can control. And ironically, that was what I was showing this month before this all happened, which ties right into it. So that's what I wanted to leave you with is you creating your value. However, you can explain it, just like you did on, did you practice your seller presentation? Same thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Value squared class that if you don't do anything else, March 26th. That's the next value squared class. Do we have a slide for it or? Okay, it's on the calendar, so make sure we put that on your calendar no matter what. On all of these subjects, this is the one thing we need to do. And we're not gonna get into it, but we're gonna do a workshop probably in the next week or so to be able to actually make yourself invaluable. So that is gonna be top of mind for us right now, because this is a subject that we can't control. It's how do we make ourselves invaluable, whether for our buyers or for our sellers? Because it's both sides of the equation. So it's literally a workshop, and I had it up here. This is just an example of what it looks like. To be able to work through it together, and so we're gonna put that on the calendar in the next week or two. Like ASAP. What time? We're gonna put it on the calendar. We don't have it yet. No, but literally.
On the 26th, the
26th is value squared with Gary Keller, Jason Abrams, and Jay Pappan. Thank you.
That's what, that's 5?
It's what?
It's 1 to 5.
It's on the ticket.
It's on the calendar. So.
And there's a couple of emails that have gone out about it, and also, KWRI is still sending out emails each week to let you know about it. So if you need to register for the link, and as soon as you register, they'll send it to you. I've got it, and we can always put it on a screen and prompt it.
Yeah, we did that last time.
We were having conversations around it. Be more than happy to do that.
And I think last time was only 2.5 hours. I think that was the average. It was only like 2.5 hours, not 5 or 4.
But it is time locked.
Yeah.
What to buy. Okay, just real quick, for upcoming things going on. Of course, I haven't had my picture on, so. Can we go right back to that? $1 million, the Realtor Robin here, $1 Million Club Gala is on April 12th from 6 p.m. is the reception and the doors open at 7 for the banquet. If you haven't had a chance to register, you can do that at Neymar.com, or I would put a QR code here. Y'all come join us. Let's celebrate each other and our successes through Neymar. So, isn't that beautiful? So it's at the Westin Atlanta in Gwinnett. from 6 to 10 o'clock on April 12th. Talking about code of ethics, I don't have a slide for it, but Neymar is also teaching a class that day earlier, I think it's at noon. You go to neymar.com or neymar.org, excuse me, and register for the class for code of ethics if you need to see in a refresher on our standards that Melba was talking about. And then Melba will be back later this week to teach a PE class for contract.
No, contract, I don't think.
I want to saw it on the calendar.
It is on the calendar, but I think it's contract, y'all asked me to do, I think it might be long.
It's 3 hours of PE, so if you need
I need
PE for this Thursday, Mel will be back joining us for license law. Ooh, when we like to know about license law. I think we all have questions all the time about.
That's what y'all asked me.
Yeah, but I think that that's where we have the most contact with people. When it comes to that day, Bold is here. Do we have that Bold real quick?
That's the wrong one. It starts April 10th, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did get the new calendar, which is on the board, and I'll change out the slide.
I would say if nothing else, this is probably the one class we need right now. It's gonna teach us all the tools for the market that we're in, for the season that we're in real estate. And what better, educator than Cody Gibson to be able to take us through this? I think this is probably invaluable for us right now. I think every one of us should be part of this class, part of this goal, to be able to take us through this period of our real estate journey. So, yeah.
And then we have the book club, and then Amy told us last week about their, new construction course that's coming soon in April. And then there's the QR code to sign up now, but you also have that in the newsletter and on email as well. And let me share this screen. Sorry, Dean Man, I'm gonna share this screen one more time, but give you sound. You don't hear me. Hopefully that works. And that's where. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, thanks, Joe.
What was, how we all wait in life for things to get easier. Think in your own life, if you waited for something to get easier. Oh, I just gotta get through this and then it'll be easy. I've just gotta get through preseason and then it'll be okay. I've just gotta get through my junior year of high school and then the classes are gonna get easier. Or I've just gotta get to my spring of my senior year of college and it's gonna be easier. It's what we do, we wait for stuff to get easier. It will never get easier. What happens is you handle hard better. That's what happens. Most people think that it's going to get easier. Life is going to get easier. Basketball is going to get easier. School's going to get easier. It never gets easier. What happens is you become someone that handles hard stuff better. So that's a mental shift that has to occur in each of your brains. It has to. Because if you go around waiting for stuff to get easier in life, it's never going to happen. And then what happens? Oh, it's so hard. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know when is it going to be easy for me? Oh, it's easy for other people. It's not. It's hard. And the second we see you handling stuff, handling hard better, what are we going to do? We're going to make it harder. We're going to make it harder. Because we're preparing for you for when you leave here. Not just basketball and life. And if you think life, when you leave college, is going to be all of a sudden get easy because you graduated and you got a Duke degree, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. So make yourself a person that handles hard well. Not someone that's waiting for the easy. Because if you have a meaningful pursuit in life, it will never be easy. If you're trying to win a championship, if you're trying to have a family, ask your parents, do you think it was ever easy for them to raise kids? Karen, is it easy? It's not. Any meaningful pursuit in life, if you want to be successful at it, it goes to the people that handle hard well. Those are the people that get the stuff they want. People that wait around for easy, you probably see them at the bus stop. They're waiting for the easy bus to come around. Easy bus never comes around. gotta handle hard. Okay, so don't get discouraged through this time. If it's hard, don't get discouraged. It's supposed to be. And don't wait for it to be, I just gotta get through the summer. And then it'll all of a sudden get easy in the fall. No, it won't. It won't. It won't get easy in the fall. So make yourself someone that handles hard well. And then whatever comes at you, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great, okay?
That was appropriate for today.
Oh, no, I mean, the confirmation. Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Let's go. Oh my God.
Right, with the offer.
Oh, that's a gala. So I really got a big gala.
Yeah. And I think that is the they make it requirement, then it's not.